Lucerne Valley and Johnson Valley Municipal Advisory Council regular meeting agenda is now in session at 5:05. Trying to hold off a couple minutes for Mark, but we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, I forgot to ask somebody, so David, would you lead us in the flag salute, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, David. I hated to spring that on you, but I figured you knew it, so.
It's not that hard to do.
Okay, looks like everyone's here. We still have one vacancy for a seat for Johnson Valley. I'm assuming you've all read the agenda since I sent it to you. We look for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second it.
Okay, it was a tie.
Give it to her.
All right.
Linda can have it.
Okay. All right. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Okay. Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. I'm hoping you all had a chance to read it. So we'll be looking for a motion for that.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I take it.
My goodness. It's a competition here. Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? And abstain? Okay. Okay, we have no guest speaker tonight, which is good because I'm really tired. I'm ready for another nap. No, we had a big speaker last time.
You said you retired then.
I was, because I'm busy. You're not supposed to be so busy when you're retired, but it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Okay, at this time it's our public comment section. So at this time, anyone may comment on items not on the agenda that are of interest to the public and within the jurisdiction of the MAC. The MAC is prohibited by law from taking actions on matters not on the agenda. Comment may be offered on items on the agenda when those items come up for discussion or action. A limit of 3 comments per item and 3 minutes per comment may be imposed. Well, I would never limit it to 3 comments. In all cases, if you wish to speak, and we don't do this either, submit a registration card to the secretary and proceed to the podium and recognized by the chair. Speakers should address the MAC as a whole. Comments to individual delegates and or staff are not appropriate for this venue. Having said that, is there anyone who wishes to address the MAC tonight? He was first. You want to stand up and state your name?
My name is David Smith, and pardon me?
Bill, we got an extra mic if you want to. Yeah.
Take it off and hold it. It's a lot easier.
Turn it on. There's buttons on the side.
Okay. You can see I don't do this very often.
Okay.
So I just want to air my complaint about the fiasco they had at the Board of Supervisors yesterday on that fire tax. I'm so mad I can spit nails. And I think they did it the wrong way. I think it's more or less an illegal tax because of the way they pushed it through. And I personally know at least 4 of my neighbors that hadn't even heard about it. And I had to get them forms, which I had to go to the market to get, because I called them up and said, send me a form. I don't do the computer. The guy says, oh, we just do the computer. I said, I don't do the computer. I just told you that. Well, we'll email it to you. I said, I just told you, I don't do the computer. I don't have email. I don't do that. send me a copy, well, you'll have to go someplace else to get it, maybe the library. And I said, oh, so you're just making it hard for me to protest this thing. So I went to the market, which they always are good at taking care of everybody in the area. So I got copies, I made copies, I gave them to my neighbors, but I've still got a couple neighbors that hadn't even heard about it yet. Yet they give
Too late.
Yeah, way too late. They give us like maybe 30 days after they sent us the notice to protest it, and then said, oh, not enough you people complained about it. Well, maybe they should have gave us more time to complain about it and get the word out, because I don't think I heard about it until just when they sent me the notice. I didn't hear a thing about it before that. So I put a letter at the market, and tonight I put the phone numbers of the 3 fools that voted for it. So I hope everybody in Lucerne and everybody around starts calling them up, because I called them up last night already and complained. But then I also called the 2 that voted against it and told them thank you for thinking about us. Now I think James Ramos voted for it, so I think he sold everybody here out. I mean, he's supposed to represent us in this area, and this is one of the biggest areas in his district that is affected by this tax. So he, to my way of thinking, he sold us all out. And when I called him, I told him, I'll never vote for you again for anything. If I get a chance to vote against you, if you ever run for anything, I, for one, will vote against them if it's 20 years from now, if I'm lucky enough to still be alive. But it's just not right. They just sold us down the river. And did I understand right that you guys filed a lawsuit against that tax?
We have not, but there is an organization that is.
I thought I'd read something where a judge ruled against it or kicked it out. Because if that was the case, I'd like to find the name of the judge, and if he's one of the ones we're voting for this time, I'll sure vote against him. But
I don't believe that it could be thrown out this fast.
I thought I saw it in the paper. I thought I saw an article. But anyway, I just urge everybody to vote against James Ramos and whatever we can do to maybe get this taken away. I doubt if there's anything we can do, but I'm just think it affected a lot of people. Anyway, that's my comment.
All right, thank you.
Household hazardous waste collection, October 26th, Saturday, 9 a.m. behind the fire stations. We got going to get him trained on this Saturday, but then next Saturday we do the work. And Levita was a party to the lawsuit. It's still going.
Has it been filed? The second one.
The second one.
Well, the first one that was filed was not the one with...
It was an injunction. It's the first thing you do, but it's still there. What's going to happen, there are probably 2 or 3 cases right now. My guess is that a court will combine all of the cases into one. That's probably what's going to happen. The first hearing is December something, early December.
Chuck, what was the date again on the hazardous waste? This Saturday?
No, October 27, the following Saturday.
Okay, great, okay. Anything else for the public comments? Okay, let's go ahead and move on. I don't see a sheriff here tonight, so we'll skip that report. San Bernardino County Fire?
I try. Bill Mahan, Town Chief for County Fire. Just for the monthly update, statistic-wise, September, the fire engine ran actually exactly 90 calls, and the ambulance ran 112. And the discrepancy is just simply because some of our calls are less critical, where they can handle it with the 2 people on the ambulance and that keeps the engine available. So About average for statistics. And then call breakdown is like usual between about 75% are medical, and the rest are either traffic collision or fire. Station construction project that's going on. In case you weren't aware, we're adding a couple bedrooms to the station, which has necessitated completely redoing the septic because the foundation expansion is going to go over the old septic, so they have to get moved out. Had to do some electrical work. And currently they've got I believe the foundation's complete and the electrical work is, but in the process they found that one of the showers was improperly draining, or there'd been a fracture in the drain system, so that kind of held things back a bit while they repaired that. But that's moving forward, and I believe we're into our first month of that remodel, so that should be done within less than 6 months. I believe that's about all I have for the report. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. Who's the contractor doing the work?
The county's got it. Actually, one of the other battalion chiefs was tasked with that, so I don't have the actual name, but I can get that for you.
Okay, because a local contractor had done the truck bay expansion, so it was local here in Lucerne Valley, so I was kind of hoping it was another local contractor that got that.
I'll find out for you, but usually with the county architectural handles that, and then they put it out to bid, and whoever.
Right. All right, thanks. Any questions for? Yes.
I want to thank you. My son's one of those statistics there that you went out on, off of Joshua and Cherokee between there. That's still a problem going up that road. There's no way nobody could come on Cherokee. So
That's one you mentioned before, right? The road, the access off Cherokee, yeah.
When you've got a child, try to talk to the paramedic and tell them how to get up there. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, and what we've done since you mentioned that before, and they already did know, but I made sure the crews, passed around to each other so they know the status of that road, Cherokee.
This is the second time you've been to the hospital for the same thing. That you guys hurry as fast as you could to get there with a child on the phone. And so if we could find a different way to get Cherokee so people could understand.
Not again.
That road is just not accessible. If it wasn't you guys, the ambulance service from somewhere else would have got it.
Right.
Okay, any other questions?
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate you driving out here.
You're welcome.
And CAL FIRE, they must be out fighting fires. Okay, Frank, CSA 29 report.
Good evening, everyone. How are you tonight? Good. I just have a brief report. I wanted to kind of update you on some things that are going on here at this facility and our other parks. Basically, my name is Frank Haggard. I'm a District Services Coordinator with Special Districts Department. And we've had some very nice use of our facilities lately. Here at Pioneer Park, we were able to host the Jujube Festival and the Pioneer Days Festival. And I understand that both of those activities were well attended and very successful for those organizations. I also want to let you know that we have a women's softball league. They're called the Black Widows, and they are now using our baseball fields for their softball practices twice a week. And they're renting those facilities. They said that they practice all year round. So we're really happy about that because we pride ourselves in taking really good care of our ball fields, and it's nice to know that the community wants to use them. We also have been approached by a local youth sports group that wants to coordinate youth sports for the town of Lucerne Valley. So we're helping them get their insurance in place and get all those things that are required for them to be able to actually start organizing. They want to do initially t-ball and baseball, but then they would also like to do expanded soccer program. So we're happy that that's going on. On November 6th,
Hey, Frank,
Yes.
well, also in remind,
Could you ask a representative to get a hold of me? I think I'd like to have him be a guest to speak to us about what they want to do.
for the youth sports?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you feel free to give him my phone number.
Good. On November 6th, we will be a polling station for the local community for voting. So I encourage everybody to come here, and the doors will open early and be open till I think it's 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Yes. A couple park projects that are going on. We were the recipients of a Mojave Water Agency grant. We received $5,000 and we're utilizing that to install a bi-level handicapped drinking fountain over at Russell Park. There was a drinking fountain installed there before, but basically it was a concrete tube that you had to bend over and utilize. So this will be handicap accessible. We just 2 days ago picked up 50 trees that were donated to the Park District. Reese was able to work with an organization down in Rancho Cucamonga. For all of our park districts, they donated over 700 trees, which is it's a huge donation. And the only requirement is that we take a picture of them when we pick them up, and then we take a picture of them when we install the trees. And there is a whole variety of trees that will be appropriate here for this area. Things like ash trees. I know that the ones that Zach picked up were mostly shrubs, deciduous trees. So the green ones. Nothing flowering at this time. So you'll see those going in. We have a whole line of trees that we had to remove because of the bark beetles. They were the redwoods along the back of our ball field, and those are some of the trees that are going to be replaced. We also like to thank Supervisor Ramos for a donation of $3,000 to our park system, and they're going to utilize that funding for installing a new flagpole and also just a regular drinking fountain over at Midway Park. So last Thursday, you probably noticed there weren't any staff around because the whole Special Districts Department held its annual, what we call Special Districts Unplugged Staff Training Day. And we were fortunate to go this year to Big Bear, and we received some training regarding how to interact with wild animals if you encounter a coyote, and the whole idea that the coyotes are becoming more accustomed to having people in their neighborhood, and so they're getting more aggressive. And so one of the suggestions that was made is that when you see a sweet, kind coyote, you don't just stop and go and take a picture, but that you actually make a noisemaker. And for example, one of the things that they suggested was to take a metal can and put nails inside of it and shake that when you see them, because you want to scare them. You want them to avoid human contact. Because for example, I live in Yucca Valley in the Mesa over there, and in our neighborhood we've lost like 6 pets just the past couple months. So they're very comfortable in our neighborhoods, and we want to help them to move on to other areas and not to get so comfortable. So there was a full day we spent up there, and then at the end of the day we were actually able to go to the new location for the Big Bear Alpine Zoo. It's a $9 million project that Special Districts is undertaking right now. They'll be moving the old zoo into that new location, and it's going to be quite a beautiful facility. They're planning on Memorial Day next year to be their opening day.
Will that be an open house?
And I'll give you more information as I find those details. We had a couple of staff changes. Actually, we've been trying to hire a PSE maintenance park facility person, and unfortunately that still hasn't worked out for us, so we're still soliciting for that position. If you know of anybody who would like to work with us, let me know or let Zach know, and we can get them through the employment process.
Is that full-time or part-time?
Also, Special Districts Director Jeff Rigney has announced that he's retiring in the end of March 2019, and that's after more than 35 years of service. And so, as of this past Monday, Strategic Initiatives Chief Luther Snoke is the interim director and will work with Jeff during the transition. And I just want to read in a memo dated October 11th, 2018, addressed to the Board of Supervisors, elected department heads, assistant executive officers, county chief operating officer, county chief finance officer, and the deputy executive officers and department heads. Director Rigney stated, "I have thoroughly enjoyed the last 35 years and am thankful to the Board of Supervisors, the chief executive officer, county staff, and the people of San Bernardino County who have allowed me to serve. I look forward to assisting in the transition over the next 6 months." So there's definitely change in the air, and hopefully we will all embrace that fully and enjoy what's to come. Do I have any questions regarding parks? Yes,
Real quick on the coyotes, if you happen to have your key ring handy, if you shake your keys, that's usually the...
that'll also get them going, okay. I know the ones I have in my neighborhood, they sleep right next to the road and they drive and they wave at you and say hi and, so, great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Oh, yeah, oh, okay, all right. That was quick service. It was Eli Construction out of, or Ely, E-L-Y? Ely? Like Ely, Nevada? Okay, yeah, Ely Construction out of Apple Valley is doing the work. So it's not Mark Riddle, I guess, darn it. Bob Riddle, I'm sorry. I don't know why I get them mixed up. They don't even look alike. Oh, well, I don't see Mark here. He didn't make it for some reason tonight, so we won't hear his report. Land Use Committee, we have nothing. We haven't been working on anything. And Cemetery Committee.
If anybody would like to contact, I don't know now. If anybody would like to join up, call me and like to get on my cemetery committee, I would really appreciate it because I need to get some things going, but I can't do it alone. So if somebody would like to be a part of it, get my phone number and give me a call, okay?
Okay. Correspondence, I didn't receive any this month. Anybody get any correspondence? Okay. Okay, no action, information or non-action items tonight. So we have 2 action items to vote on tonight. The first one's kind of a moot point because the county moved. You know, they've been dinking around with Section 410 for the Reese for 6, 8 months, 2 years, whatever, and yet they ramrod this thing right through. So I don't know, do we still want to vote to oppose the proposed county fire tax? Yes. Do we? Okay. I'm going to open up any comments right now. I'm assuming you guys all read the letter. Betty composed the letter, and I just helped her a little bit. I kind of doctored it up a little bit, but thanks goes to Betty for the body of the letter. Was there any comments on it from the board?
No. Good letter. It's excellent. Very good letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
No comments from the, okay. All right, so I guess at this time we'll go ahead and go to a vote. All in favor to vote to oppose the proposed county fire tax and approve the letter to the Board of Supervisors? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstain? Okay, the ayes have it. The second item, vote to endorse the community plan letter submitted to the Planning Department by a coalition of organizations and people. That's that big, huge letter. I hope you guys all read it. There was a lot to it.
There's a lot to it.
I didn't hear back from any of you that any of you read it, so I wasn't sure. But Steve, that Steve Meyer, is that his last?
Steve Mills. Steve Mills.
Mills, that's right. Steve Mills composed it, and it was pretty awesome. So do we have any discussion on that?
Well, I want to tell you that the HBCC and JVIA both signed on.
Yeah, use your microphone and tell people what that acronym stands for. Acronyms.
What, they're not memorized? The Johnson Valley Improvement Association and the Homestead Valley Community Council both unanimously voted to sign onto this letter.
Okay.
Steve Mills does an amazing job.
Okay. He did, he really did. Any comments from the public? I was going to say, I guess most of you probably would agree with us on this letter. So I think we do have a fairly good pulse on the community here, at least I kind of like to think we do. So at least those that care enough to even bother to pay attention. Okay, so are we ready for a vote? Okay, so the vote is to endorse the community plan letter submitted to the planning department by a coalition of organizations and people. We have endorsed, this will be endorsing their letter. So all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstain. Okay, they both passed unanimously.
Roger?
I've got it. You got it? Yeah. I want to ask for a third action item,
We can't.
which you only have one down here, so.
I have 2 down here.
Oh, it's the revised one. Well, okay, for next time then.
Okay, what do you want?
I think the MAC should endorse for Davita's statement on the community plan also.
I forgot about that one.
Extensive.
All right, we'll do that for next month. You know what, send me an email so I'll get it on my...
Yeah, I sent you, there are 3 different documents, Roger. What,
You know what, I'm getting so much email, I can't keep track.
Well,
I totally
especially-
apologize.
especially with
If
the
they're
fire
there, I'll
tax.
find them.
Yeah, with the fire, yeah, there are 3. There are 3 documents. What we did is we took the entire plan and dealt with everything. The maps, the countywide vision plan, and the fact they didn't carry over very specific stuff in our 2007 plan that we have to have for this community. They just shined it on. What Steve did, he really complemented what we did because he focused almost entirely on solar projects related to all of the community plan stuff. So both of those together, our 3 documents and his long letter, I think would be a better package to endorse because we covered everything and he focused on renewable energy. So I mean, you could do that right now. It's no big deal. It's already sent in.
Legally, I cannot add anything to the agenda. I got to have a 24-hour notice.
It's a different Mac than I remember, but anyway, that's okay.
Well, the laws have changed, Chuck. The laws have changed.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, if you can, and when you do it, if you could, the staff had promised at that last meeting here to respond to each and every point that Levita came up with. And if they haven't done it within a month, if maybe you could add that request to your action.
Okay, so I'm confused. Why do you have it in 3 separate documents?
So I wouldn't get confused because the entire community plan is all over that website. We have the the countywide policies, countywide plan.
All right.
We have the maps and the zoning, and then we have what was not carried over from our 2007 plan. And so that's why they're all separated in 3 different documents.
Okay, maybe I thought you were sending me Steve Mills and I just didn't open it. So I have all 3 of these on one email?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that'll be good. Because I can't use that because I need to put it all together with a cover letter.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thanks, Chuck.
Can you summary to people what the main big issues are? I mean, there are some really outstanding ones, like how they
Microphone.
Yeah, how they screwed up. It's all over. What they did is, we had very specific stuff in the 2007 plan, and we asked them before, why don't you just include that, and we didn't know about renewable energy back then, let's just add some stuff to it, and they said, no, probably can't do it, but we'll try. Well, what they did is, they went through, and they have on their website, they have our 2007 community plan. And then they have in the next column how that has been translated and transferred to the countywide plan. And so by the time they got through, it's all crap. There's absolutely no verbiage in there that gets into the specific stuff that we had in our 2007 plan. So we're basically asking them, if you're not going to fix it, then just take our 2007 plan, theirs, Joshua Tree's, everybody else's, and include it as an addendum so county staff, when they have a project they're processing, will be able to go through and say, okay, well, the policy plan over here, the countywide, it says, well, we'll be careful about roads and whatever, all this crap, right? But then they get down, we have very specific stuff in ours. What we want, not going to be done now, but it's long-term future. And so that's where they really fell down. The maps were difficult to read. What they did is, this is what's really interesting. They took our old agricultural zoning and our resource conservation RC zoning, which is most of Lucerne Valley. And they turn that into RWM, Resource Land Management Zoning. Okay? And in Resource Land Management Zoning, which is the old ag and the old RC, which is pretty much all over the town, they have not only allowed solar, industrial scale solar, but they basically invite it. And so that is definitely not what we wanted in terms of locations for any of this stuff. And so we're going to have to fight it. And we've got the same problems in other communities as well. Aside from that, which the county really can't deal with, we've got all these development focus areas on BLM lands throughout our community, designated in the Desert Renewable Energy Conservation Plan for solar. Okay? Plus the state lands all over here and all over Johnson Valley, we're trying to get exchange with BLM to get protected lands here, and then the State Lands Commission to help be able to develop them to fund the Teachers Fund, which is going downhill right now, for actual development where they can develop it. There are BLM parcels next to cities, next to other, other areas, transmission lines right over it, that could be used for solar or whatever it is they want to develop. Because here it's going to be a fight. So we're getting that meeting together. But anyway, the point is we dealt with all aspects of the community stuff, and Steve focused on a renewable. All of those together are a very good package.
Do we say that we would want to endorse, we want, excuse me, now I can't talk. We want to endorse the Levita statement and ask for staff response to those, to your...
As they had promised.
Oh, as they have promised, all right.
Basic Levita statements.
Okay, so does the council members have any requests or reports? Okay.
Since we're shortly going to have a different supervisor, I don't know how long I can continue coming to this MAC. I don't even know if the next MAC would include Johnson Valley or that I would be appointed to that MAC. So I want to take this chance right now to tell you guys what these people do for you. And I know if Joanna were here, she would be saying, don't let your communities go. These people are fighting for your communities. They volunteer their time. And there are communities, they should not be taken away from us. That's what she would say. So whatever happens in the future, if I don't ever come back to this table, this is what I want you to know.
Thanks for that, Betty, but we'll have at least a November meeting, because if Ramos is accepted, if he wins the election, he's running for assemblyman, some assembly district down below, and apparently he's pretty popular down there, so he just might get it. So what'll happen is,
They can have him.
what's that?
They can have him.
Well, what'll happen is, as soon as, and I don't know when he would vacate office. Do you have any idea when that would be?
January.
Right? In January. Okay. Well, then the MAC would dissolve.
I heard December 8th. I heard everybody would be sworn in December 8th, but probably don't take effect until what, January the 1st?
So the MAC will dissolve, and then it'll be up to the next supervisor, who I guess a groom and an interim guy already. He used to, we know him. I can't think of his name right now. Yes, that's it, Joe Carrillo. I think he used to work for Dianne Feinstein, so I'm sure he's a raging... Rick? Chris Carrillo, okay. I'm sure he's a raging progressive, since he worked for Dianne Feinstein. But I don't know, maybe he'd be different, maybe... I also heard he's not real in favor of these, the solar projects because of what they do to the environment, so that's a plus. But anyway, so it'll be up to the next supervisor to appoint a MAC board if he chooses to do so, which they always do, but And then he'll have to appoint members, so it may not be any of us, so I don't know. Because if they're chiefs, if they don't keep Ramos as chiefs of staff, and like Mark Lundquist, if he doesn't keep them, then he won't even know who we are, and he won't have anybody on his staff.
He was the aide to, besides Feinstein, he was an aide to someone who's here locally.
Yeah, I remember that, but he won't remember me, I'm sure. I don't. Anyway, we'll just have to see how that all works out. Just giving you a heads up what might happen. If you want a MAC, you might have to lobby for it.
Roger, an appointed supervisor is very unlikely to change the MAC. An elected supervisor has the powers to do it.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Oh, darn. I was hoping they'd change the whole map.
Okay, so we don't have anything else. We'll go ahead and adjourn. Our next meeting is November 15th. What? You had something? No. Okay, well, Bill, we have lots of time, other times for, what did you have?
I think it would help, let me just say it with the mic.
No politics.
I'm not discouraged with what happened with that vote of the supervisors. I feel like we've often thought that they play a game, there are 5 of them, and so they'll make sure 3 do what they all want. That doesn't mean there aren't any differences of opinion, and I don't want to badmouth Lovingood because he's done a lot for us. But in my short history of observing what goes on with boards of supervisors here in the county, they know what they want. They let the supervisors whose constituents are going to be the most upset at them vote the way the public wants, and then they make sure that 3 screw you. So, that being said, you'd say, well, then why Ramos? Well, Ramos is expecting to graduate, get elected and not be here. So I believe that's why not Ramos. Plus, he hasn't really paid much attention in the last couple of years to the needs of Lucerne Valley. But this was a good experience to my mind. It opened people's eyes up that being nice and polite isn't really cutting it. We're not getting anywhere. They took away the hauled water. Your ability to build and rely on hauled water. They screwed us with the renewable energy so far. They're screwing us with our community plan, and they screwed us with the fire tax. So, there are at least 2 suits going on now that are set up, and some of the community are already getting behind the suit. Levita has joined in on the suit, and that's part of us in the community. So sort of be a good cheer. Maybe we're just starting to flex our muscle. Maybe by getting into courts, we're going to start waking up the county that we're real people and we're not going to lie down and take this. So I'm recommending a positive attitude right now because I think we're headed in a better direction.
Okay, with that, the meeting is adjourned. We'll be meeting again November 15th here at the Community Center at 5 o'clock.